The topic for today's talk is practical approaches to question document examination. So as we know that question document examination is one such field which solely evolved for the purpose of forensic science. As we know that forensic science is the applied science used in the criminal investigation. So we have different branches of forensic science. For example, we have forensic chemistry, we have forensic ballistic, we have forensic toxicology, forensic medicine. So these all, barring this question document examination and fingerprint examination, these all are application of core sciences to the law and justice. So question document examination and fingerprint examination are only sciences we have which are evolved, we evolved just for the law and justice. So in today's talk, I will share my thoughts regarding that, how it evolved and what are the cases we are receiving at CFSL Chandigarh and what is the nature of cases we are doing at CFSL Chandigarh. So first of all, as we know that what is a document? So according to Section 3 of Indian Evidence Act, Section 29 of IPC and IT Act, documents means any matter expressed or described upon any substance by means of letters. We can use letters by means of figures or marks, or by more than one of those means intended to be used or which may be used for the purpose of recording that matter. So in modern era, we have very extensive and wide connotations of documents. It may include writing in a ink, pencil, or any other material, including paper, inscription of a metal plate, stone slab, or any other material, typewritten, printed, photograph. It may be charted map or plan. So why I am saying this? Because in modern era, when technology has evolved to such a level, we are generating different types of document in our day-to-day life. It may be a handwritten document or it may be a digital documents which is generated through technology. Also in in state FSL of Himachal Pradesh, some coins were unearthed during archaeological survey of India excavation. So they questioned कि it can be treated as a document. Can we examine in the question document laboratory what is the origin of these coins, what are the coins made up of. Of course, it is a matter of examination of this chemical composition or what is the coin is made up of, but it can also examine under the question document what is the possible date of origin of these coins. So this is why I am telling this, because that documents bear wide connotations. It has wide meanings in modern evolving era of technology. So what are the different classification of documents which are questioned, or when they are questioned, they came in the laboratory for the examination purpose. So it includes civil documents, which includes marriage registration certificate, that certificate, birth registration certificate, divorce certificates, etc. Then in daily routine, what are the different types of documents we are using? We are using our ID cards. Then we have our voter ID card, PAN card, Aadhaar card, domicile certificate, caste certificate, BPL certificate, ration cards, examination of mark sheet, degrees, certificates, and testimonials of motor vehicle registration certificates, driving license, etc. These are the documents which are used in our day-to-day life, routine documents. Then we have a travel documents that includes passport, visa, nationality certificate, resident alien certificate, then permanent resident card, naturalization and citizenship certificates. Then of course this bank documents, they are very important, because as we know that money is involved. So mainly when we are examining cases, mainly that 60 to 70% cases which are examined related to the bank documents, as HOD ma'am has pointed out. So these includes checks, draft, traveler checks, currency notes, credit cards, debit cards, smart cards. Next is the category of documents, which includes the documents which are executed on stamp papers. So they include this category of documents includes a bank guarantee agreement, property transfer, registration, rent agreements, etc. So examination of disputed handwriting. So as we know that handwriting is a neuromuscular task. So more of it is more of brain writing. When we write, it is a more of brain writing. It is a act which is developed gradually over a period of time, and it is so what do you call it? It is so the person so becomes so habituated that when the graphic maturity is attained, the person is writing subconsciously. So whatever it is writing, it comes directly from the brain. So in examination of disputed handwriting, we look for the class characteristics. These class characteristics may be in the form of pen pressure, shading, writing speed, slant size, relative size, and proportions of the letters, then alignment of the letters in the handwriting, arrangements of the letters, then what is the style of the writing, it is a cursive or it is a hand printing. Then if tremor is there in the writing, tremors are usually the characteristics of the writing which occurs at the older persons. So their muscles are unable to support the writing instruments. It may be a pencil or pen, whichever the writing instrument may be. So the hand muscles become so feeble that it unable to support the writing instrument. So there is an introduction of tremor in the handwriting. So that is very interesting area in the examination of handwriting. Or it also comes in the question signature, because what happens sometimes in bank documents, the person's signature which they have provided in the specimen signature card is around 20 to 30 years older, and when they sign about 20 to 30 years later, there will be tremors in the handwriting. So whatever the question signature will be there, so how we are going to judge the question signature or handwriting, it become very important on the part of the question document examiner. How he or she is going to examine that type of handwriting or signature. Then another characteristic is spacing. Then we have line quality. So these are some of the class characteristics which are looked in the question handwriting as well as standard handwriting. So class characteristics, as the name suggests, that these characteristics will be common for a group of individual. So I'm going to give an example of a case in which we have 29 persons, and in that 29 persons we have to fix the authorship of a particular question text. So there was a case in Punjab. Actually that case comes under the NDPS Act. And NDPS Act is a Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, 1985. So in that case, the Punjab police has seized some drugs which were illegally transferred from the other side of the border. So there is some area which is covered under the Punjab police and some area which is covered under the BSF, Border Security Force. So Punjab police seized the consignment of the illegal drugs and they prepare a seizure memo. Seizure memo is a kind of memo which is generated in due course of investigation when police seize some substances during the investigation. So in that case, the IO of the in charge of that police station, he prepared a seizure memo. Later on, when they were handling the consignment to the border security force, they torn the seizure memo and threw it. But some of the police persons in the same police station, they pointed out that it is wrong, it must not be done, the justice must be served. So in that that person, he pasted that seizure memo and he keep that seizure memo to himself. Later on, he give it to the BSF. So what BSF done that he forwarded that seizure memo to the Central Forensic Science Lab, Chandigarh, and they BSF that they took the handwriting samples of all the individuals who were there in the that police station of Punjab police. So they were asking ki out of 29 persons, can it be possible ki can it be possible to tell the who is the author of that seizure memo? So in that case, we have examined the handwriting of 29 persons. So in that, why I am telling this, because what happened ki when we are examining the handwriting of a particular area, class characteristics come into the part. When we look that that class characteristics come into the picture, and when we look at the handwriting, that handwriting will look somewhat similar to the lay person, but not for the expert. So going into the intricacy of the handwriting, we were successful in the fixing of the authorship of that seizure memo. So next is the individual characteristics. Individual characteristics, because that individual characteristics are very highly idiosyncratic in nature. Idiosyncratic means they will be very particular to individual writing habits. So that individual characteristics may be in the form of unusual shapes of letters, their connections within each other, then breaking in the written line, then even doubling of some letters, or different types of allographs used by a writer. Then diacritical marks may be highly individual in nature, that such as that I dot we have in our English Roman letters, and T crossing. Then punctuation marks, the use of punctuation marks that comes from the forensic linguistic. So maybe that individual is using a semicolon, colon, comma, that habit of using semicolon, comma, then indentation within the written page, paragraphing, that will be very highly individualistic in nature. So it will help in the fixation of the authorship of a particular question text or question handwriting. So this is a handwriting comparison chart. It is prepared when we have finalized, or when we have fixed the author of a question handwriting. So on the left hand side, we'll put the questioned text, whatever the text is there in the question handwriting, and in the right side we will put the specimen text. That specimen handwriting is the handwriting which is obtained from the suspect person. So we will compare side by side. For example, here in the question text we have Q1. Here you can see the execution of D. So in K1 you can see the execution of D during word. You can see the during word. So how it is executed. Similarly, we can also see this word Ottawa. So Ottawa, that you can see that the nature of execution of that last word in the Ottawa, the small case a, how it the finish of nature of finish of the a. So it is highly individual in nature. Similarly, we can see the other words. This you can see this S word in the Q2, and similarly we have it in K1. So this is a handwriting comparison chart. It will helpful whenever expert will go to the court of law. So it will helpful as a demonstrative evidence. Whenever court asks how you have formed your opinion based on the examination of the handwriting. So the expert, he will able to show that, sir, this is the question text, and on the question text on the left hand side and specimen text on the right hand side, and this demonstrate that whatever the words which were common in the question text and the specimen text, they were matched according to their nature of formation, their nature of formation, their connections, their nature of finish. And on that examination, we have confirmed that the two handwritings were written by one and the same person. So it will help as a demonstrative evidence, just to demonstrate that the two handwriting, one being the question, another being the specimen, is written by one and the same person. So moving to the next, that examination of disputed signatures. So what we called, how the signature is different from the handwriting. Handwriting is any mark produced on any substrate just to indicate what we are writing or what we intend to write. So what is signature? Signature is very highly individualized part of handwriting. So why I am telling this? Because the signature is formed within the is formed by the signature which is highly individualized, which is highly individual to a particular person, keeping in mind that it is formed by it is generated by the person to indicate his or her identity. So when we put signature on the document, what we are indicating? We are indicating that we have gone through the contents of the documents and we know that contents, whatever it is there on the document, on any surface, they are genuine, or we are agreeing to the terms and conditions of that documents. We are agreeing, or whatever it is there on the surface of the document, be it a paper or any other surface, we have gone through it and we are agreeing to it. Whatever it is there, it is correct. So that is the reason we are putting our signature, be it on ID card or bank guarantee, or on the signature we are putting on the bank documents. What are the nature of cases which are examined in the category of disputed signature? So mainly the different types of forgery we see in the when we examine the disputed signature. So in the last, I want to mention that some limitations in the field of forensic document examination, as this field is evolving and we have come to that time when we can quantify not only we can see the nature of the things, but we can also quantify in terms of handwriting or signature. So it is evolving over a period of time, and so it is very still subjective in nature. Then we have non-original evidence such as photocopies or fax, in which the skill of the question document examiner is put to test, and it is very difficult for us to examine the photocopies documents, because some of the characteristics of the handwriting or signatures, it will be lost in the process of photocopying or in the process of the documents which are faxed. Then when we have insufficient quality of question document or non samples, in that case also difficulty arises. Then disguised, in case of disguised handwriting, it is very difficult for us to compare with the question writings. Also, the lack of skills in document examiner, those who are new to the field, they must learn the art of examination, art and science of examination. So then lack of contemporaneous writings submitted for comparison. Contemporaneous means ki whenever the question document is generated, that known handwriting must be around that period. For example, if I have written the particular writing in 2020, then that known writings which are there for comparison must be around that 2020, either before or after, around that time period. Then lack of comparability. For example, some individuals, what they will do, they will put the initial signatures. Initial signatures, there will be less number of characteristics which can be examined. So that is another limitation. Then insufficient known specimens submitted for comparison. One, or when question handwriting is, when we are comparing the question handwriting with the known handwriting, and we have only one and two specimen for comparison. That in that case, we are not able to study the natural variation of handwriting. What is the master pattern of the handwriting? What is the deviation? What is the variation of the handwriting? Then uh, last one is the insufficient infrastructure and instrument for the examination of question documents. So right now in the DFSS, which is the nodal agency for the all the labs in India, they are in the process of police modernization, and now they are providing funds to the state FSLs in terms of modernization of forensic science laboratories under the Nirvaya Fund and Police Modernization Fund, so that all the infrastructures needed for the examination of documents and other disciplines in the forensic science, they can be upgraded and the crime rate can be brought down. So in the last, I will say ki, the deeper we explore into any subject, the more we realize ki, that what we know is just a drop in the ocean. There is so much to know. What we don't know, and what we can't know.